This podcast is produced by the Harwood Productions Podcast Network. To learn more about the network and to find more of our shows, visit us online at www.harwoodpodcast.com.
Hi, I'm Cindy Harris, and today I'm making these delicious orange shortbread cookies. You know, shortbread is a really basic cookie, but so delicious. So all I did today was add some fresh orange zest to it, and then as an option, if you'd like, I've chopped up some fresh candied orange peel that I'd made earlier. Well, there's no way around it. Shortbread has butter in it. And for this recipe, we need 2 sticks of butter, which is 1 cup. Now, I like to cut my butter when it's cold out of the refrigerator and cut it into cubes like this. I find that it creams up really nicely. So I'm going to take my cup of butter that I've cut into cubes and put it in the mixer and let it start creaming. Then I'm going to add 3/4 of a cup of sugar. And I want this butter and sugar to get nice and fluffy, so I'm going to let it mix together for about 2 minutes. Now while the mixture's going, I'm going to take the zest off of 2 oranges. And I'm using my microplaner and I'm running it across the top of the orange. That way the zest collects here on the top and it makes it really easy to scrape into my mixing bowl. Now my butter is nice and fluffy along with the sugar, so I'm going to take all that great orange zest and scoop that into the mixing bowl. And now I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of milk, and you can use whatever kind of milk you have on hand, along with 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And I'm going to let that mix together for just a couple of seconds. I have my mixer off, and I'm going to add 2½ cups of flour and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Now this next step is totally optional. We have so much great orange flavor from the zest of those oranges, but if you want to add something a little special, see if you can get some candied orange peel. Now I actually have some on hand because I made some last week for my Farmers Market Gourmet show. So I have lots of it on hand, so I thought I would add some of it to this shortbread today. So what I'm doing is I'm taking some of that candied orange peel and I'm cutting it up real fine. I want to end up with about 1/4 of a cup. So I'm going to run my blade through it a number of times. And then I'm going to take that orange peel and add it into the flour. And I'm just going to mix this until all the ingredients combine. I'm going to take my mixing bowl off, and with my spatula, I'm going to give this one final scrape down just to make sure that I don't see any pockets of flour or anything, and this looks really good. And now what I'm going to do is I need to form this into 2 logs. So I'm going to take a piece of plastic and I'm going to take half of the dough, put it right in the center here, and I'm going to shape it with my hands, kind of flatten it out a little bit. And then I'm going to wrap the plastic over the top of it. I don't want my hands to touch the cookie dough too much because the warmth of my hands will kind of melt that butter. So I'm going to wrap the plastic around it, and then I'm going to just put this into a log. And you can kind of have the diameter be whatever you like it to be. I would say this is about 2 inches in diameter. And then I have a second piece of plastic wrap, and then I'm going to put the rest of the cookie dough in the center of it. And I'm going to do the same thing. So I'll have 2 logs of cookie dough like this. And these are going to go in the refrigerator for about 2 hours. They need to be totally chilled down before we can bake them. Now when you're ready to bake your cookies, just take out as much of the dough as you want out. Today I'm just going to take 1 of the rolls out, and I'm going to put it on a cutting board, and I'm going to use a knife that has no serrations on it. It's just a nice clean blade. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to slice these cookies in about 1/2 inch thick slices. And I've got a baking sheet with a piece of parchment, and then I'm just going to lay the slices of cookie right on it. Now you can see these really pretty pieces of the candied orange peel. They make a really nice contrast in these cookies. Now I've preheated my oven to 375 degrees, and these are going to cook from between 12 to 14 minutes, but I do watch them. I don't want them to get really brown, just a little bit of color along the edges of the cookie, and then we pull them out of the oven. Now you can see these are very pale on the top, but they have the littlest bit of brown on the edges, and that's what I want. But I do want to get them off this cookie sheet because I don't want them to cook any more than that. Now these shortbread cookies are going to be delicious whether you have the candied orange peel in them or not. Because we have the zest of 2 oranges, they are loaded with flavor. Now if you want to give them a try at home, just go to our website and visit the cookie jar show notes, and I'll have the recipe there. And as always, if you have any questions, please send me an email. I'll see you next time.